This is Rock and Roll English. Real people, real English. Here's your host, Martin Johnston.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Rock and Roll English. Episode number 98. Oh yeah, only a couple more until the 100 mark. Although really there have been over 100 because of bonus episodes, stuff like that. But it's just the number, isn't it? It's just a lovely number. Everyone likes to look at that number. Anyway, in today's show, I speak to Clarification Charlie about school trips and how they are, because Charlie is a school teacher in England, so she's going to give us some inside information so you can learn some stuff about school in England and stuff like this. Remember, all of the rock and roll vocabulary is on the website, rockandrollenglish.com. There will be the quiz this week. Sorry about last week, I was a bit busy. But the good news is that the website seems to be working at the weekend, although sometimes it does this, just has a weekend off, just no drinking this weekend. Probably because the weekend before it got so drunk, I don't know. Anyway, but for the moment it's working and that's good. Concentrate on the present, people. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking rubbish now. Here is today's show. Happy listening. Clarification Charlie, how are you today?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Always fantastic, Charlie. Always fantastic. Although probably a little bit less because I'm worried you're on the show again. And the last time you were on, you really had a go at me, which I think everybody knows that term now. You're becoming famous for that. Maybe you can be Charlie having a go at you, Chapel. Doesn't sound so good though, does it?
It doesn't sound quite as good, although perhaps quite apt. But still.
Yeah, some rock and roll vocabulary there, quite apt, like suitable, perfect for this case. Anyway, Charlie, so how do we start the show?
With a review.
Do you think we have a review?
Yes.
Well, we do. We do have a fake review, which I've been asking for a long time. Not from Boom Boom Cannon, from another friend, which it's so ridiculous, I don't know if I want to read it. But remember, people, reviews are fine anywhere, even fake reviews. Charlie, you can even leave a fake review.
Yeah, I did leave a fake review.
I haven't seen it. Are you sure you managed that? Because I know you have difficulty with anything. Just to let everyone know what happened just a minute ago.
Okay.
Sandy, you ready to record this, Charlie? She said yes. Do I click the record button or the play button?
But my argument was, which you did say was a very valid argument, was generally green means go, red means stop.
When you're driving a car, yeah, that is the sort of standard. But when you're recording a podcast, a little bit different to driving a car. Okay, don't do the two together. Okay, that's dangerous. So, Charlie, I hear you've been on a school trip because remember, Charlie is a proper teacher. She works at a school in England with teenagers and just those kind of horrible people. And you've been on a school trip, I hear.
Yes, I went on a school trip recently. I went to London, the big city.
Wow. The big smoke, as sometimes we call it.
Yeah, indeed. And I went with some A-level students. So these are students that are sort of 17, 18, that sort of age. And we did lots of visits to lots of different places.
God, I'm getting bored already just sort of thinking about these school visits, the school trips, like with the teacher. That's the classic thing of the school trip. It's like, oh, here's a museum. Yeah, look, I don't give a fuck about the museum. It's a day off school. I just want to go crazy. If I'm 17 or 18, I want to try and buy some alcohol and then maybe, touch a girl in places that maybe I shouldn't.
Well, I hope that didn't happen on my trip, but we were away for 3 days, so it was quite a long school trip for us. Very tiring.
Okay, well, we're going to look at school trips in a bit more detail because now you've obviously got the perspective from a teacher because, well, I've never been on a school trip with children, so I don't know what it's like as a teacher. I can certainly remember as a child, but some great times were had, let me tell you, because... Well, in my school, we always went to absolutely shit places. I remember going to a place where there were swans once. So like swans are sort of like a big white bird, let's say. And we had to stay there for 8 hours talking about swans.
To be fair, that's not my idea of a great school trip.
No, exactly. But it was a day off school, though, wasn't it? It was just fucking great. Just running around with no uniform as well. How good was that?
Oh, yeah,
God.
the whole non-uniform. That's pretty epic on a school trip.
Oh, had to bring your A game there. So you bring your A game, like your best stuff, like your best Adidas trousers. And even the teachers that were wearing like sort of non-uniform. So what do you do as a teacher? Just wear sort of like, I don't know, sexy clothes for the kids?
That obviously didn't happen. Just normal
I
clothes.
tell you though, if that did happen, that would be fucking amazing. So that's some second conditional there. So you got like a young, good-looking teacher. Could you imagine how good that would be? Oh God, I'm dreaming about it now.
Yeah,
It seems
I'm sure many
not you. I'm
people
not
have
dreaming
had
about
dreams.
you.
Yeah,
I'm not dreaming about you. Just a teacher.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
And
very
how
much.
amazing that would be.
Yeah. I mean, I think there are laws against that kind of thing now, but I appreciate the point you're trying
Well,
to make.
there shouldn't be, okay, because that would be amazing. And in schools, there are always a lot of rumours going around. So, rumours are things that people say that you never know are true. One of the rumours in our school often was that a teacher got it on with one of the pupils. So, 2 bits of rock and roll vocabulary there. What does it mean to get it on with someone?
To get together to kiss and cuddle and maybe more.
Maybe more, exactly. And a pupil is like another word for school children. So was any of that going on at your school trip? Did you get it on with any students?
No, I did not. Absolutely not.
I tell you though, I'm just still thinking about the dream of getting it on with a teacher. I just don't think I'm going to be able to get over this. What is your relationship like with teenagers anyway? Obviously, I'm not talking about sexual relationships. I'm just talking about what are they like? Because I teach teenagers as well, and I generally find them all bastards. I'm sure some of them will be listening to this because I know some of them do. So if any of them are, yes, I do think you're a bastard. That is a joke though. They know I'm joking. Sometimes they are bastards, and they know that. They understand when they're bastards. That's the good thing sometimes.
Yeah, they do. I mean, I've worked with them for a long time now, and I find them really quite entertaining.
Yeah, it depends though, doesn't it? Depends on that one. So one of the other things that I remember from school, and sometimes happened on school trips, where you had to obviously have a shower after the long day, and teachers were sometimes sort of very near this, especially in PE. So PE is physical education, and teachers making sure you washed specific places of your body, which was a strange thing back then. I don't know if it's changed now. Do you check people's private parts when they have a shower?
No, I do not. And it does make me slightly worried that happened at your school. Again, not quite sure if that is...
Well, you know, you have a shower and then the teacher says, look, have you washed that bit there? Bring it here. Let me wash it. No, that part was a joke, okay? No teacher ever touched my genitals, okay? Just in case you're interested.
No, I did not need to observe children showering, nor did I
that
need to
definitely
check
happened.
that they have showered properly.
That definitely happened, though, of teachers sort of watching you have a shower, which was a very strange thing. Even when I was sort of 11 or 12, I remember thinking, is this normal? I've got a middle-aged man watching me as I'm naked having a shower.
I'm going to say no, that's not normal.
So, getting back to the school trip, you said it was in London. It's quite far from where you are now.
Yeah.
Long coach journey. So talk to me, what was happening on that coach? Did all the cool kids go and sit at the back?
Do you know what? We were discussing this as teachers, and funnily enough, the cool kids were right by us. And we were just like, hang on, I thought you were supposed to be on the back row. I don't know what's happened. There's been a shift in society. And suddenly, cool kids want to be up close
front.
To the teachers.
I think those cool kids might have heard some of the rumours that I heard, that sometimes on school trips, teachers like to do some kind of stuff. That's the only reason I can think about this. So you sit at the front with all like the old boring teachers, is that right?
Well, there weren't any old boring teachers. That's the thing. It was me and my 3 friends. So we were all just relatively, young-ish. In our 30s.
My image of that is just teachers sort of really old, like glasses, sitting at the front of the coach, like reading a dictionary, like not even a normal book, just a dictionary.
No, that did not happen. I think we're worse than the kids sometimes. We're we like to gossip quite a lot.
Oh, God, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Although, actually, no, in fact, I do want to know. Maybe we've got one here, actually, because obviously on a long coach ride, you need to pass the time because there's nothing to do. Although the kids now, they've got iPads and stuff like that, haven't they?
Yeah, and because it was such an early start, a lot of them in classic teenage way just slept. They just slept.
Ah, bastards.
I know.
When I was young, I had Game Boy and Tetris Max, although that was the best game ever made. So another thing people like to do is create lists, like what are your top 5 whatever, which is still one of my favourite things to do. In fact, just the other day, I was in the car with Mrs. Rock and Roll English on a long car journey, and I said to her, if you were a lesbian, what would be your friends that you would most like to have sex with? I mean, these are just the greatest questions ever. Is this what you and the teachers were doing as well?
Yeah, all the way to London, 6 hours.
I'll tell you what would be a great question for the teachers. You could say, if I were 16, what student would I have sex with? That would be a great question. Maybe you can tell us the answer to that later, yeah?
Yeah. Yes, Your Honour, in a court of law.
Yeah, it probably would go to court. Probably stop talking about having sex with people that are underage.
Yeah,
so moving on, as we said about school uniform, I forgot to mention this before. So in England, when you go on a school trip, you don't have to wear uniform. Everyone, wears their best clothes. In Italy, they don't wear school uniform.
Oh.
I know. You have to. So that's just the nightmare. You have to think about every single day. What am I wearing? Like, do these jeans look good? How am I going to impress the girls?
I think I always used to remember that when we used to have like French or Spanish exchange students coming over, because I don't think hardly any of them have uniforms, do they? And I just think,
exactly.
You're so lucky. But actually, with a uniform, you just get up and put it on, don't you?
Well, that's it. You don't have to think. Although I don't know, is that a good thing, sort of taking the creativity out of people? Maybe that's why us English people are so boring and depressing. What do you think?
Show your creativity through your learning. Be individual
Oh,
by
that's
your
such
class
a teacher's thing to say.
contribution.
What a ridiculous thing. That is why you're a middle-aged teacher. Show your creativity via your learning. What a ridiculous thing to say. Jesus. Go sit on the front of the coach and read your dictionary.
Yeah, bloody well will.
You do that. So another thing on the coach, obviously, is kids snogging. So what does snogging mean?
Kissing with
like
tongues.
Like really deep kissing.
Yeah.
Was any of that going on? Did you have to like break it up? Like, come on, you two, that's enough. You've been snogging for 10 minutes now. 'Cause that's what teenagers tend to do. They seem to just snog and snog. I don't know. They need like an oxygen mask. I don't know how they're breathing so much.
See, no, we didn't actually have any of that. But I think because we were taking A level, they're slightly more kind of mature in some respects, and so we were quite fortunate. I didn't have to break up any snogging on the coach.
This sounds like the most boring school trip in the world.
Oh, fuck off. It was really good. It was really good fun.
Some really good learning happened.
We went to learning.
Went to the science museum and saw a dinosaur, and it was really, really good learning.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
it was. No,
Where's the people getting drunk and getting in fights and stuff like this?
We did Madame Two Swords. We
God,
did London
amazing.
Eye.
Oh, in fact, I saw a picture of you. You got a picture done with one of the royals.
I
noticed.
did.
I thought, what a surprise that is.
I know. Well, I could have gotten one with Meghan and Harry, but there was quite a long queue, and I was just like, actually,
of course
I'm tired.
A queue to get your picture taken
Yeah.
at Madame Two Swords. So Madame Two Swords, in case anyone doesn't know, it's a sort of like a museum in London. Can we call it a museum?
Yeah.
Where there's like
museum.
waxworks people, so like famous people made from wax. Which are the same thing that a candle's made from. But I cannot believe there was a queue to get your picture taken with Harry and Meghan. You went for what? Queen Victoria, was that right? It was about 200
Queen
years
Elizabeth,
old. Queen Elizabeth.
Tudor, and that's because that's my A level that I teach. So I teach all about Tudor
Oh
England.
my God, this is just so bad.
And so the kids were like, Miss, get next to Liz. So I did.
Oh, cool. You're just being so dangerous. The kids are like, Miss, it'll be so funny if you get a picture with the Queen, the Liz. And you're like, yeah, I know. I'm going to do this.
I'm such a cool, funny teacher.
Oh, God, hilarious. You did make a good point there good point. You said something interesting when you said that the kids said miss, because that's what we say in school. It's very strange saying miss and sir. It's very strange, sir, especially whoever says sir in England, except at school.
Yeah, I know. It's not really a kind of turn of phrase we use.
And as well, miss, because miss we use for someone that's not married. You're a married woman.
I know.
You should be Mrs. really, shouldn't you?
I know, but in our school, everyone's miss.
Well, that's it. So another thing that happens on school trips, especially on these long coach journeys, is that people fall asleep. And then generally what happened, certainly in my school, was that a penis would be drawn on that person's face with some balls, with some pubic hair, maybe some sperm coming out of the penis. Like, you've got to pay attention here with the details.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if that still happens as well.
Well, it didn't on this one. Thing is,
As
I said
the most
again,
boring school trip ever.
As I said, this was with the A-level students who were trying desperately to try and be really mature. I am doing a similar trip with 50 year 8s who are 13-year-olds on Monday.
Oh, now, yeah.
I have a feeling there might be some penises being drawn then.
Come back and speak to us after you've had the trip with the year 8s.
Yeah, thanks.
So year 8, that would be 13 in England. So it was an overnight trip as well then, yeah? So 3 days, you said. Did you notice any people exchanging rooms, like the boys going into the girls' rooms at night?
We did a few little rounds to ensure that didn't happen.
I can imagine from the sounds of this school trip, you sort of come in and the boys have snuck into the girls' room. So when they sneak in, it's like they go in quietly without anyone seeing them. And you go in and they're like studying maths or something like that.
Yeah. No, I am. You're going to say I'm boring, but actually, it was just they were really well behaved. I've done the same trip in previous years, and they have definitely not been well behaved. It's been 3-4 in the morning, and you are still trying to kick kids out, hiding in cupboards, trying to hide in bathrooms.
See, that's what it's all about, though. Trying to sneak into the girls' room and just do some touching. Just some touching. No, penetration. Just
a bit of touching.
Just a lot of touching. Just a little bit of touching. What's the problem with a little bit of touching, hey?
Yeah, I know. But no, they were well behaved, which was not like I did a school trip when I was younger to Disneyland Paris. I remember.
To Disneyland? You went to fucking Disneyland? We went to with my school. We went to a Catholic school. We went to a church once. we were going to the day. We got a school trip. I was like, fantastic. Where are we going? We're going to a church. Brilliant. Oh my God. You went to fucking Disneyland.
Yeah, we went for like 3 or 4 days. We stayed in Disneyland Hotel. We got to go to the park. Jesus
Christ.
For early, but ahead of everyone else. It was brilliant.
Fucking hell, no, there's none of that shit going on in my school. No. So another thing I remember from school trips is that they gave you a task sometimes, like of the museum, like how many statues are, I don't know, in the museum. Was any of that going on in your fantastic fun trip?
No.
I can imagine you made the task, didn't you?
So, I actually didn't.
I don't know. How long has the Queen been Queen or something like that? What was the Queen's mum called? Have a look in Madame Tussauds. Get your picture with them. Take a selfie, and this counts as your homework.
No, I actually didn't set any tasks at all. I just said, go in and really soak up the history. Don't be bogged, worried with trying to write things down.
So she did use some rock and roll vocabulary to soak up the history, like to take it in. You can soak up the sun as well. I would rather actually soak up, atmosphere in a football stadium, though, as opposed to in a museum. I was just asking Charlie before the podcast, have you seen any of the football? She hasn't even watched an England game.
So, I know, it's really bad.
That was actually going to be my first question of the podcast. Have you seen any of the football? And this is what she said to me. She said, I know England won the other day. So England won 6-1. So we were recording this just after the Panama game. They won 6-1 for the first time ever in their history. Charlie says, I know they won the other day. Oh, well, thanks for that. Thanks for that information.
Well, the thing is, they've not been the best for quite a while, and so I haven't got much time, and I just think I can't bother to waste time and energy with this and then it just not end up in anything.
See, that's the thing, Charlie, that you can't speak like that, because you must through thick and thin. So that means the good and the bad times. It's like your husband, yeah? If you're going through a bad period, you're not just going to say, oh, this is bad, I'm going to leave. You need to stay by them, okay? It's the same with a football team.
Thanks for the marriage advice.
Well, no, that's fine. No problem. You can pay me for that later. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, I did listen to your podcast with Boom Boom and or talk your chat about the football. So, but there was one I can't remember which podcast it was. I listened to two, and in one of them, I think you actually asked Boom Boom. So, did you listen to the other podcast? And he said no.
Well,
and
exactly,
then there was
yeah.
me there thinking, well, I'm listening to this right now, and Boom Boom, I've got probably significantly less time than you, yet I still managed to find time to listen
exactly.
to Rock
Doing
and Roll
your
English.
homework.
Actually,
Yeah,
I was a
doing
little
your
bit
homework.
insulted, He's just a me man, isn't he? If it hasn't got Boom Boom, it's not worth listening to.
Wow, this is sort of a public slagging match going on here. So a slagging match when you say sort of bad things about the other person. Well, you're a teacher though, aren't you? You like to do these boring things like your homework and go and look at science museums and other fucking really boring stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And read your dictionary at the front of the coach.
Yeah, exactly. I fucking love a dictionary.
Yeah, well, anyway, I'm going to have to leave you with your dictionary at the front of the coach. Thanks a lot for your time. You didn't really have a go at me today, which was a good thing. So, things are looking up.
Yeah,
so I say things are looking up. Things are getting better.
Yeah, I thought I'd move on to Boom Boom this time.
That's a good point. Yeah, let's concentrate on him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it doesn't matter though. He's not going to hear it, is he? So.
Good point. Good point. Anyway, clarification, Charlie. Thanks a lot for your time.
That's all right. I'll speak to you soon.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so that was me and Clarification Charlie there talking about school trips. So let's look at some of that rock and roll vocabulary. When I tried to give Charlie the name Charlie Having a Go at You Chapel, she said it doesn't sound as good, but perhaps quite apt. So the word apt is a very nice word there, quite formal word actually. We don't often have formal words on this show. It means very appropriate. And she also used a nice word when she said perhaps. Perhaps is another way to say maybe. Again, more formal. She's quite formal, that Clarification Charlie, isn't she? We were talking about London and we called it the Big Smoke, which is a slang way that British people call London. I was saying when I went on a school trip with the school, we went to a place to look at swans. A swan is a lovely looking bird, actually. Probably one of my favourite looking birds. It's difficult to describe. It's white. It's very nice. There will be a picture on the website, though. When we were talking about non-uniform day, so that's obviously when you don't need to wear uniform, I said you have to bring your A game for non-uniform day, your best stuff. I even say this to people on the podcast. When they come, I say, bring your A game, like bring your best jokes and stuff like that. We had the word rumours when I was saying there are often rumours going around the school. So a rumour is a story that we don't know if it's true or not. And I said one of the rumours in our school was that a teacher got it on with a pupil. So if you get it on with someone, you have a romantic relationship, let's say. And a pupil is another way to say school child. We can't use pupil for university. They're just normal students. I don't know why we have this word, but we do. So remember, school children, pupil, it's the same. We had the word snogging, which is what teenagers like to do and kiss each other for like 10 minutes, like really passionate kissing, tongues, eating each other's faces off is another way. And that is called snogging, as I said. We had the term wax. So remember, wax is the stuff that candles are made from. That's probably the easiest example to give you. Lots of other stuff you can do with wax. I used to put it in my hair, actually, when I was younger, when I had like a boy band haircut. But, that's another story. We had the terms miss and sir. You obviously know what they mean, but just to highlight this fact to you, we say that to teachers in school. Hi, miss, for women. Hi, sir, for men. I even saw one of my old school teachers about 2 years ago, and I still called him sir. I said, hi, sir, great to see you. Admittedly, he said, don't call me sir anymore, but it was just too strange for me. I had to call him sir. We had the term sneak in. So if you sneak into a bedroom or something like this, you go in very quietly so no one can see you. And what's the past of sneak in? Oh yeah, baby, snuck in. That's some real rock and roll vocab. We had the term soak up when Charlie said that they went to the museum to soak up the history. So that's a sort of metaphorical way to say absorb, like your brain is absorbing the history. It's soaking up the history. I prefer to say soak up the atmosphere at a football stadium, but that's because I'm a hooligan and she's not. When we were talking about football teams, I said you must support the team through thick and thin. So that's basically a way to say the good times and the bad times. I made the comparison of Charlie's husband and I said it's the same. You need to stay with him through thick and thin, through the good times and the bad times. When she was saying some bad stuff about Boom Boom, I said we have a public slagging match here. So that is when two people are saying horrible things about each other. But I doubt Boom Boom will, because as Charlie said, I very much doubt he will be listening. And then I said to her, things are looking up because you didn't have a go at me. So if things are looking up, they are going well. Things are getting better. Maybe you're having a bad time in your life and you get a new job and you say, wow, things are looking up now. I have a new job. It's something better. Anyway, so that's all of the rock and roll vocabulary for today. I will most probably be doing another football podcast with Boom Boom in the week. Hopefully after England have won the match, but we don't know. Anyway, remember, all of the rock and roll vocabulary is on the website and the quiz this week, rockandrollenglish.com, baby. Go there, have fun, but most importantly, just keep on rocking.
Thanks so much for listening to Rock and Roll English. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit rockandrollenglish.com and facebook.com/rockandrollenglish. We'll catch you next time.